Okay, so it is finally time for me to talk about my explant and my journey with breast implant illness and my journey of healing and coming back to my authentic self. Just want to start out with a disclaimer. This is not going to be the video for you to find all of the technical information. This video is not to convince you that breast implant illness is real. This video is not for anyone who wants to come on here and tell me I'm wrong. This video is for me. This video is for my healing. This video is for other women out there who need to heal. And this is my story. What I say in this video is completely my experience, completely my opinion. If I say something in this video that upsets you or that you don't understand, I just want to say that just because you don't understand it does not mean that it's wrong. And I really would hope that everyone can use their power of perspective to be understanding. I'm going to speak a lot from my experience as a woman. I do know that a lot of my audience is male, which is amazing. I love you guys so much, and so many of you men have done such a great job of forwarding my videos on to your girlfriends, your wives, and your friends who have implants to let them know that this is something that may happen to them, and you've sent them my way so that I can help them figure out how to heal, and that is amazing. Please keep doing that. But what I really want to say to my male audience is that when I'm speaking from my experience as a woman, that is in no way me discounting your experience as a man. Because what has happened is I have started to speak about what it was like when I was a little girl and the pressures that I felt from society. And I can only speak to my experience as a female, okay? I don't know what it was like for you as a man. So when I say that when I was a little girl, I felt pressure to look a certain way, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that men don't have pressures like that too, okay? You've heard all my disclaimers. Let's all just please agree to go into this video with an open mind. This is just a conversation. This is just collaboration. I'm not standing here saying that I'm right and everyone else is wrong. I'm just here to share and hopefully help someone. I'm very glad that I waited till now to make this video because I am finally in a place where I have found my voice again and I am not afraid to roar loudly. I'm probably also gonna cry a lot in this video, so just get ready for that. If you don't know me by now, like, here's the crash course, is I'm an empath. I love big and I love deep and I love hard, and I feel everything, and everything means something to me. So yeah, I get emotional and I cry easy, but guess what? Like, that's also why I can have so much compassion for the world and have so much love for all the human beings and all the animals and everything. So, you know, if that's too much for you, if I'm too emotional for you, then that's fine. Skip over this video, but this is me, this is who I am, and some people are gonna love me for that and some people aren't, and that's just okay. So anyway, get your tissues and get ready for some tears. I need my own tissue. So this journey has been a crazy one. There was obviously a lot of physical healing that needed to happen. Like I said, this is not going to be one of those surgery recap videos or anything like that. I'm physically better. I'm super strong again. I'm, you know, getting back into the gym and working on my cardio and getting my strength back. I still do have some residual effects from the breast implant illness. It's not quite as bad as it was before, but I still do have a little bit of joint pain. My heart rate still gets a little weird. Those things will subside. But what I want to talk about is the emotional healing that goes on with this as well. Obviously, Obviously there's a big change physically. That's apparent. But I've had a huge emotional change too. So much of my identity was wrapped up in the way that I looked. That comes from being a model for 10 years, from competing in bikini contests and working in bikinis for 10 years. I mean, I literally made money off of my body, and I literally was valued for what I looked like. And yes, that was my choice. I fully admit it. I'm not playing the victim card here at all. It was my choice. And that's what I put forward to the world, is that's what I decided to share. But that's also how I was shielding myself. And that's how I was protecting myself, I thought, was I didn't want to let my true self show through, so I showed my body, and I used my body to cover that up. And since I was using my body and everybody loved that and was so okay with that, you know, I didn't have to show up in an authentic way all the time. I was able to show up as this avatar, right? As this person that I became, this Amanda Bow show that I put on for everyone for the last 10 years. So yeah, I had a lot of identity wrapped up in the way I looked and wrapped up in my tits. And it's okay, you know, I can have compassion for myself for that, and it's okay. That's where I was at in my journey, and I'm in a new place now. It's hard because I'm super hypersensitive about it right now. I'm very aware of, you know, how advertising and marketing is using women's bodies to sell things. And, you know, every time a girl walks by with huge tits and fake boobs, I'm just like, oh my God. But I just try to remind myself of, you know, that I am who I am, and this is the way that my parents and God and the universe created me, and, you know, I was perfect to begin with, and that I never needed to do this. You know, so it's okay. And like I said, I'm not playing the victim card here. Like, I get it. Yes, it was my choice to get breast implants. I understand that. Like, should I have done more research? Probably yes. But here's the thing is, like, there's a huge lack of information out there, you know, and the FDA hearings they just had the last 2 days, like, they admitted that they fucked up. They admitted it. So, you know, a lot of information was hidden, and we didn't have access to that information. So yes, I made the choice. Should I have been more informed? Yes, by the surgeons, by the doctors, by the FDA. Yes, I should have been more informed. Should I have informed myself more? Yes. You know, a lot of people comment on my pictures on Instagram. They say, well, why did you even get them in the first place? And all these really, really smart guys, they go, oh, well, I'll solve the problem. Just don't get tits. Why would you even get them? It's like, okay, Captain Obvious, like, cool. Do you feel bigger about yourself now that you've said that? Yeah, I shouldn't have got him in the first place. That would have solved everybody's problem. But that's not the case. And when you're little, all you want to do is grow up and be big. You want to be like your mom, and you want to be like your dad, and you want to be like the other men that you see around and the other women that you see. As a little girl, you want to be bigger. You want to be grown up. And what does every grown-up girl have that you don't? They've got tits, right? Our moms have breasts. The older girls in high school have breasts, and they're getting their Victoria's Secret padded bras. That's like the sign of becoming a woman, is you get to go and you get your training bra, and then you get to go get a real bra. We didn't know at the time that those women have tits because they've had babies. So they've got big boobs, and genetically some women just have more breast tissue. Some women just don't have breast tissue. All the women on my father's side of the family have huge boobs. Huge boobs, like so big they had to get reductions. But all the women on my mom's side of the family had normal boobs. Guess what? Genetically, this is what I got. But you know what? All of my other genetics are amazing, so I should be super stoked about that. We grow up playing with like these little stupid plastic Barbie dolls. with their tiny little, thin little waist, their big, perky, perfect plastic tits, long legs, flawless skin with no dimples, and it's all smooth, perfect hair. And that's what we grow up playing with. And then we watch princess movies, right? And, you know, all the princesses are perfect. And they look great, and they look amazing. And even the ones who were poor and came from nothing, they still get these makeovers, and all of a sudden they're beautiful and they're glowing and sparkling, and they get this magic prince because they're so perfect. That's what we grow up programmed with as children. As little girls, we are told that if we prove ourselves to a man, prove ourselves to the world, mostly through our looks. There were a few heroic princesses, I will give you that, and there have been more later on in this more PC culture as I've grown up. But when I was a little girl, that's what it was. You were perfect. You had the long hair or the high heels, you had pretty dresses, and then, oh, one day this prince just come along and he just picks you because you're so perfect. Then we're done being a little girl. Now we're a preteen. We get the 17 magazine. Big step in becoming a woman. Next step is Cosmo. But first you got to get on the 17 magazine. And inside of it, it tells you what you need to wear so that you can be in style, and how to do your makeup, and how to do your hair, books to read, and it even tells you how to orgasm. We are getting shoved down our throats every day in commercials, news stories, TV shows, movies, songs, magazines, novels, everything. We are getting shoved down our throats. This is the way to be a woman. This is the way to look. This is the way to think. This is the way to act. And this is even how you fucking orgasm. And we're so programmed to want this. And then I'm growing up, and, you know, I'm a teenager, and my tits still haven't come in yet. And then I'm in my early 20s, and I'm like, when are they gonna come in? And guess what? Like, they never came in, and I kept waiting and waiting, and you know, I wanted a boob job, I think, since the time I was 19. I remember I wrote on my Christmas list one year, I wrote, throw some D's on that bitch. Yeah, I wanted tits. I wrote tits on my Christmas list when I was 19 years old. I kept waiting, and they didn't come in, so when I was like 24, I finally went and got them. Well, I was always like a guy's girl, right? I always hung out with the guys. I didn't have a lot of women friends, and hanging out with my guy friends, what did I hear about all the time? All I heard about was fucking tits. What do I see them notice? They notice the girls with the tits and the asses too, but mostly the tits. And then they talk about fake tits, and they talk about big boobs. And so now, you know, so I'm just hearing all this stuff. Like, now I'm like, oh, fuck, God, I need some tits. Went and got some. And the first set I got was a set of saline. I had them for about 3 years before I started having problems. So I go to a new surgeon, and also at the time when I got them, guess what? The doctor said, nothing to worry about, totally safe, no complications, you just might need them replaced in 10 years. That's it. But if you have no problems, no big deal, nothing to worry about. 3 years later, saline implants, having problems, having a lot of pain. I go back to the surgeon and I think, what, you know, maybe I just had a shitty surgeon the first time. Maybe my surgery just deteriorated rapidly over 3 years. So I go to the surgeon and they sell me, and that's an important term because they really do. They are salesmen. They sell me on this new gummy bear silicone implant. You know, that whole thing about like gummy bear, that's a really clever marketing tactic is what that is. Silicone implants were banned for 16 years here in the US. The problem with them was that the silicone would get outside of the shell and it would migrate around the body. And when that happens, you die, pretty much. You have to go to the hospital immediately. They try to give you surgery and hope to be able to save you. They were banned. 16 years later, the manufacturers come back and they say, oh, we fixed it. We have this new gummy bear implant that doesn't rupture, doesn't leak. They just added more shit to the mixture. When the implant would maybe rupture, instead of just spilling out and oozing out, now it's like this really tacky gummy solution that doesn't migrate. So they said, look, we solved the problem. Well, that wasn't the whole problem. With saline, with gummy bear, which is silicone, they all have silicone in them. The saline implants, the shell is made out of silicone. Silicone implants, they're made out of fucking silicone. The problem is the presence of silicone in the human body. And that is what is messing people up. I had my gummy bear implants for almost 3 years. I noticed my first symptom right away. Right when I got home from surgery, I had the blurry vision, and I've always had perfect vision, never any problems at all whatsoever. So I knew that this was very strange. Everything that ever popped up, I made an excuse for. I found a way to justify it, or I learned to live with it. Maybe I'm just getting old. I guess your vision changes as you get older, and mind you, I'm like 27 at the time, so not old enough for all these crazy changes to happen in my body. I really don't want to get into all of my symptoms because this would be a really long video. The point is that I noticed my first symptom right away after surgery. At first, it was very slowly over the next 2.5, almost 3 years that I got sick, but then it got very, very rapid, and it got very, very scary. And it got to the point where I couldn't get out of bed, where I had no hope. I was in pain in every single inch of my body, on the inside, on the outside. You know, like I said, I had lost all hope. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I did not know what to do anymore because my body at 29 years old was giving out on me. And I felt like an 85-year-old woman who was on her deathbed about to die. To all the people out there who, you know, who think that us women have something to gain by promoting breast implant illness, thinking that we're doing this for attention or followers or anything like that, like, you are so fucking wrong. You really think that I would have put myself through $20,000 of surgery and put myself through surgery if it wasn't because I truly believed that this was gonna make me better? We have nothing to gain by promoting breast implant illness except to help save other women. Who do you think has more credibility and is more believable? Thousands of women who are sick and have nothing to gain by sharing that they are sick, or manufacturers and surgeons and doctors who literally make billions of dollars per year off of implanting women. So do you think it's more likely that thousands of women are just making all this shit up, or is it more likely that manufacturers and researchers hid information to get their products on the market and then didn't do what they were supposed to do because they knew that they would get in trouble if they released all the information? Which is more believable? I think it's pretty obvious that it's more believable that all of us women who are sharing our truths, who are being vulnerable, who are trying to expose this, that we're doing this because this is really happening to us. What does the other side have to gain? The other side has to gain all your fucking money. Because guess what? Here's the real pisser. I gotta go back to the surgeons and pay them more fucking money to get my implants out. So it's like, they're still making money off of you. And now you're sick, now you've got chronic illness, since you've had all of these toxic chemicals in your body for years, and now you're just part of that healthcare cycle. You're part of that machine because now you're sick and you're getting treatments and you're, you know, seeking doctors. The whole thing sucks. It's really sad. It's really scary. I could say so much more about each one of the facets of it. You know, I could go on forever about the beauty industry and marketing and advertising. I could go on forever about the FDA and the surgeons and the doctors. The bottom line is, I was very, very sick. At 29 years old, I was feeling like I was going to die. At 29 years old, I could not function. And then I had surgery. I removed my implants. I did not replace them with any other implant because there is no safe implant. I removed the capsule, which is the scar tissue that forms around the implant. And I healed from my surgery, and now I feel better. So that's the bottom line here. It's not up for debate. It is not up for discussion. I don't care if you don't believe me. I don't care if you want to see scientific proof, because guess what? We don't have it because they won't research it. I don't care. The bottom line is that I was sick. I had surgery. I removed them, and I'm not sick anymore. And I get to be myself, and I get to be healthy, and I get to be happy, and hopefully it's, it hasn't been long enough for me to know if I'm going to have any permanent damage, but hopefully not. Hopefully I can live the rest of my life illness free, but I am at higher risk for some things. So, that's just something I have to live with. I just would encourage anyone who is thinking about getting them to really, really do your research, really listen to some of these women's stories, really check up on what's going on here. Anyone who wants to get them out, just listen to your intuition. And if it's telling you to get them out, then get them out. Mine told me, and I'm so glad I listened. I'm so glad I listened. Thank you so much for listening to my little discussion here. Please message me if you have questions, need help, need support. I might go into more detail later about my symptoms, about my story. For now, this is what I have for you. This is what I had to put out, like I said, as part of my healing journey. But please reach out to me if you need anything at all in this whole journey. I will be here for you. I have already helped a lot of women go through this process. I'm here to help anyone else who is ready. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for being here. For all the people who have supported me for years, whether I had implants or not, love you guys so much. I have a really big love-hate relationship with social media, but one thing I do really love about it, and it's so beautiful and so amazing, I got more support from strangers on the internet than I did some people in my life, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for those of you, each person who reached out and wished me well and, sent me good vibes. Thank you so much. It made a huge difference for me. And, I'm now passing that energy on to other people and to other women. So thank you. I have so much gratitude for everyone who's here. And hopefully I'll post more videos about this stuff later. If you guys want to hear more, let me know what you want to hear about, what part of it, because I covered a lot of things. So, all right. I hope everyone's well. Be positive, be productive, be happy, be healthy, and I love you all.